Welcome all to Chasing Tents. My name is Abby. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. This is part 3 of the series of videos, which is what happened to that bike. In this episode, I'm featuring my Honda CBR 1000F from 1989. Now, I made an episode when I bought this bike. It was all about my journey of buying this bike and why I bought it. It was a bit of a Bollywood-inspired childhood bike, really, and I made a detailed episode on that one, so do check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. And since then I have ridden this bike actually, and I think one of the big reasons I have ridden this bike, unlike the last 2 episodes, you've seen the Suzuki GXSR 1100 and you've also seen my Triumph Daytona 900 Super 3 Cosworth. Now, because those are bikes in pristine condition, I don't ride them as much in, say, semi-rain weather or damp conditions. This one, because it's not that pristine, I take it whenever I want to. But I also have a car and an old Audi, which I like to drive when the weather is nice. When you got vehicles like this and you just don't get time, and I work in a bank. This is not my full-time job, this YouTube stuff. This is just hobby. But I want to do a bit more justice to this bike. I've been riding it, so that's justice enough, but I think the previous owner or the previous to previous owner probably didn't look after this bike as well it should have been. So I'm going to go through with some of the stuff I found out since I bought the bike. So when I bought the bike, I showed you it looked great. That was my first 24 hours with the bike. Everything looks fantastic. But as you live with something, you start to realize there are some niggles, some issues, mainly cosmetics really. And I'll go through everything with you right now, and I'll tell you what the plan is. And also, I'll tell you about the exhaust, the Delkovich exhaust, which had 2 baffles in it. And I thought there might be small mini baffles. They turned out to be some bazookas. So come on, I'm going to get my mobile phone out and start telling you more stuff, because it gives you a different angle and perspective. So first things first, I have to throw a massive shout out to a friend of mine, Wojciech from Shrewsbury. And he did a lot of help in terms of the fairing for me. And I think the previous owner dropped this bike in his own garage twice on both angles. So as you can tell, a really bad paint work here, some botchy job there, and there were 1 or 2 other issues. I think they're on the other side. Yeah, well, thing here. So, and also it's been repainted. So I think the previous owner dropped this bike in his own garage, because it's not been slid. Because I had someone look at it really carefully, and they said all the plastic internal clampy bits have been broken. So it's fallen, but it hasn't fallen while in a slide. So as you can tell, there's some stuff here which is been kind of botchy jobby repaired. So what my friend did from Shrewsbury, lovely Wojciech, he took the bike, the panels apart, and plastic welded every single thing, it was just clampy bits, where the nut and bolts and all the kind of fasteners, I should say, fix into the bodywork and stuff like that. So one of the first things which happened with this bike, I rode it pretty decent speed in country road. This plastic thing at the bottom actually came off. So that little plastic bit at the bottom, that one, it completely came off. And then when I looked into things, everything inside was cable ties. It was what do you call it? Not Aerodite, some kind of glue, but it just didn't work. And some really botchy screw job. So we took all the bodywork apart, not we, my mate, and he put everything together. Now, it runs beautifully. When I say it runs beautifully, at higher speeds, none of the bodywork vibrates, which is very annoying, because this bike has been built to a really good standard. A few other things, that crack I noticed quite later on. There was a crack there, no big deal. Reliability wise, this bike has been fantastic. I've been really giving it some. And 1 or 2 of my mistakes, I never like to pressure wash a bike, but lately I took it to Wales and I got stuck in some muck deep muck, and my mates had to pull me out literally because it's a heavy bike. And then I came back and I pressure washed the bike, and I got rid of some of the paint here. So don't use pressure washers on the bike unless you really have to. I should have been a bit more far away, but that was a error. My first ever time pressure washing a bike. Lesson learned big time. Okay, now I'm going to come to the bike sound in a bit, and I'm going to start the bike. So things which I have had to do to the bike, just a battery. I should have trickle charged it all the time. I didn't trickle charge it for 3-4 weeks, and the battery went. I've had the bike 1.5 years, and I've changed the oil, changed the filter, didn't change the spark plugs. That's about it really. The bike came with a brand new sprocket and chain and brand new exhaust, full system, Delkovich dual system, dual exhaust, dual slip-on system, and the tires on this one, thankfully, unlike the other two bikes, are only a year old. They are Pirelli Diablo road tires. I still try to ride the bike in dry weather. What else? I've always trickle charged it since then. So new battery, working well now. I'll start it in a minute, but let me show you something. All right, angle 2. What do you think? The bazookas, they were inside these Delkovich exhausts, slip-ons. I cannot believe the size of them. And what I can't believe that there are no holes in these baffles. They're like, I mean, they're quite charred or full of carbon monoxide soot. And honestly, I cannot believe how much power they must be kind of stopping from the bike producing, or just kind of strangling the bike. That's what I really want to say. So why shall I or shall I not? Shall I do I'm just thinking, these baffles back in and do a before and after video very quickly. See if I can do that very quickly for you. There is a big noise level difference. I'm not going to rev it too loud because this is a residential area and I don't want to do that too much. Before I do that, let me see if I missed anything else. Just little, whoops, I've just knocked a baffle. Just little nitty gritty little stuff here. Also, I've got to mention some surface rust there and there. So the plan is, there is a bit of galvanizing, a home paint job there. So, and also here, I think the guy painted this as well. So just and also I think the bike was also stood in the sun a lot. So what I did was, one of the first things I did when I got this bike, I think it's called Shiny Side Up. It's one of my friends, or you know, I got to know him when he came to valet the bike. Actually, you know, I'm not that rich, but I actually got him to valet the bike completely, inside and out, because the bike was just a bit mucky, you know, and stuff. So he cleaned the whole bike and everything, but while cleaning it, he noticed there was a lot of surface rust here and there. So the plan is to take it to TBR Performance, Matt Wren, who if you've been following my track day videos, I've been going to him a lot. And the plan is I don't think the suspension has ever been serviced. It's probably got crude oil inside the front and back suspension. Also service the brake, master cylinder. A few things which I don't think this bike has ever had done, because the previous owner kept this bike in the sun because the switches were faded. I mean, if you love your bike, you're going to put a cover on it, and he didn't bother to put the cover. I say previous owner, previous to previous, because the previous owner was in Devon or Cornwall, Devon, and he had a lovely garage. So I think it was previous to previous owner. One other blemish is this seat cover, or seat, sorry. But that's about it, really. Discs, bolts are a bit rusty, a few surface rust here and there. So just a few little things to get this bike really not pristine, because I don't want to use that word, because as soon as you make a bike pristine, you stop riding it. I want to keep it. I want to keep the patina. That's a good word. Jay Leno uses that in his videos. I want to keep the patina, keep the bike the way it is, with a few blemishes, but have the running gear sorted, properly sorted. You know, fresh oil in the cartridges, front cartridges, rear shock, you know, master cylinder, brake. You know, I can see there's it probably needs hydraulic fluid here. Is it? No, dot 4 brake. So fresh fluids, another detailed service, and that's about it. I don't want to repaint it. I don't want to make it pristine because I'll stop riding it. The whole point of this bike, I think I paid £1,900 for this. The whole point of this bike was to keep it and use it. And honestly, the rideability is epic on this bike. Coming off a Suzuki GXSR 1100 on a ride out and going to this one, it's day and night difference. It's even more comfortable than the my Triumph Daytona 900. It is absolutely epic. You know, it's just amazing. So, okay, let's do the sound test. Let me see if I can put the baffle in and just do a quick sound check. Okay, welcome back, guys. Sooty hands completely. Now, the plan, this was not in the plan. My plan was never to put the baffles back in and do it. So I haven't got any tools, so I've just kind of shoved them in. I hope they don't pop out because I don't have any tools. I'm not at my home premises. I'm somewhere else doing this video, somewhere quiet, but it's not very quiet. It's a bloody busy road. Anyways, let's start the bike. Let me see if it actually starts. It should start straight away because I've not really ridden this bike much. What I'm going to do is put my phone underneath the exhaust just to sound mic thing. But I do have a good mic here. It's a very good mic. Hopefully it catches. So the choke is on. Starts straight away. Battery's in a really good shape. And I did ride this bike 2 weeks ago, so it's not like I've not ridden it. However, while the bike is warming up, let me tell you, what I should have done is emptied the carburetors of fuel, which I didn't do. But to be honest, it's been absolutely fine. I did brim the tank with fuel, and I put Putolene's fuel stabilizer, and I got the 99 octane fuel, is it, from Esso. I've heard Esso has got the least amount of ethanol, so I did that. So try to minimize tank rust by filling it up completely. Let's have a 2-minute break and I'll come back because I want to get it properly warmed up before I start revving it. Okay, welcome back, guys. It's properly warmed up now, so let's rev it. I'm not going to rev it way too much, only 5,000 revs, but you'll know the difference between baffles in and baffles out. So this is baffles in, those bloody bazookas from Delkovich. So that was revving to 5,000 revs 3-4 times and keeping it at 4,000 revs. Let's take the baffles out. Shouldn't take me long because I didn't screw them in. Okay, the baffles are out and they are bloody hot. Hot. Flipping heck. They are hot. Didn't realize that. Fucking hell. I think the soot from that kept my hands okay. Let's start without the baffles. Straight away. Oh. Okay, bike is already warm. I'm gonna rev it up. Same revs, 5,000. Okay, and now idling at 4,000. 4.5. To be honest, even a partially hard of hearing person will be able to tell massive difference in the with the baffles and without the baffles. Trust me, the size of those baffles is unreal. I don't know if they are from Delkovich directly, but they are quite big. Let me get my phone again, so I'm showing you the exhaust as I'm talking about. So yeah, these are the Delkovich exhausts. They go pretty well with this bike. I would like them. I mean, to be honest, if you see, one is a bit tilted, one is straight, but what I would really like, I would like them to be following the line of this bike, if that makes sense to you. Do you know what I mean? It's just, this is a bit low, looks like a bit touringy. I would like to follow that. It's just because I'm a big sports bike person, and the other two bikes, not the Suzuki, I would like the Suzuki's exhaust to be a bit higher as well, but the Triumph, the two exhausts, which you saw in part 2, are just spot on. But honestly, a full Delkovich system is a good system. I really kind of wrung the neck of this bike, and honestly, easily, effortlessly, superbly, smoothly, double cream, lard, you know, this bike just runs on these things. It's just superb, absolutely superb. I mean, from the mileage point of view, this has got 23,862. I would say, I'm pretty sure the first few thousand miles of this bike were well cared for. But the way this bike came to me, you know, and with a few broken bits here and there, fairing and stuff, I don't think the previous owner looked after it very well. So it's time to give it some TLC. The plan is to do no track days with it. Plan is to just ride it here and there. It's got no seat cowl on it, unlike the Triumph and the Suzuki. Aprilia is the race bike, so I don't plan to take anyone on it. But it's got no seat cowl on it, and I've got the rear insurance, the rear pillion insurance on this bike. I've never carried anyone on the bike. But yeah, all in all, the bike's not given me any issues whatsoever, except for cosmetics. And my mate sorted a lot of that out. One of the niggles I don't like about this bike, and maybe fellow owners of this model can tell me, the bloody seat is so hard to align the seat, get the seat in. When I put the new battery in this bike, I couldn't really get the seat in. So that's one of my niggles. But otherwise, it's been a fantastic bike. So like I said, what I will do is I will not leave it there. I'm going to take this bike to TBR Performance. We're going to throw some love to this bike. Hopefully you like the first 3 episodes of this series. First one was the Suzuki GXSR, second one was the Triumph Daytona, third one is this one, and hopefully we can do some further videos with these appreciating classics. I like to call them appreciating classics, but they're not for the living room, they're to ride. So if you've got one of these bikes or any appreciating classic, please ride it. And if you want to see further videos on these classics, I'll leave the links in the description. Keep following, keep liking, keep commenting. Thank you very much for all the support.